And here we observe yet another primitive human ritual called grocery shopping, Krasthul narrated into his research log, his upper tentacles wiggling with barely contained amusement. The holographic display showed hundreds of humans pushing metal carts through fluorescent-lit corridors, filling them with packaged sustenance. Note how they still physically travel to designated food distribution centers instead of using quantum materialization. Simply fascinating. He adjusted his observation pod's position above Earth's atmosphere, the sleek research station Omega, providing him a perfect view of the North American continent. After 3 cycles of studying these peculiar bipeds, he considered himself the galaxy's foremost expert on human behavior. Not that there was much competition. Most advanced species found humans about as interesting as studying primitive bacteria. Update to classification notes, he continued, his lower tentacles dancing across the control panel. Humans remain categorized as Development Stage 2.3, showing basic signs of civilization, but still reliant on fossil fuels and physical currency. They continue to entertain themselves with crude audio-visual entertainment they call movies and television shows. Most remarkably, they still believe they're alone in the universe. A sharp chime interrupted his monologue. Krasthul's attention snapped to the energy monitoring display, all 4 of his eyes widening simultaneously. That's impossible. The readings showed a massive energy spike originating from somewhere in the human territory called Colorado. The signature was unmistakably similar to a Class 9 quantum drive technology that should be at least 1,000 years beyond human capabilities. "Computer, verify these readings," he commanded, his professional demeanor cracking slightly. "Energy signature confirmed," the AI responded. "Pattern matches Zentaran military-grade quantum drives. Recommended course of action. Report to Central Command." Krasthul's skin shifted from its normal pleasant blue to a worried purple. The Zentarans were among the most advanced species in the known galaxy. The idea that humans could possess their technology was absurd. Yet, "Computer, access historical database. Show me all anomalous energy readings from Earth in the past cycle." The holographic display filled with dozens of similar spikes, each lasting only microseconds, too brief for standard monitoring to flag them. They formed a pattern that any military strategist would recognize. A patrol route. "By the eternal void," Krasthul whispered, his tentacles going limp. "They've been watching us watch them." A new alert flashed across his screen, an incoming transmission from Zentaran space. As he reached to accept it, he noticed his tentacles trembling. Something about this felt wrong, very wrong. The message was brief. "Alert all stations, children missing, Zentaran colony 7, unknown hostile force, maintain radio silence." Krasthul looked back at the primitive planet below, suddenly seeing it with new eyes. Perhaps they hadn't been the only ones observing and making notes all this time. "Computer," he said quietly, "begin encrypting all research logs, priority level, maximum. And perhaps we should move the station a bit further from Earth's orbit. Just to be safe." The security feeds from Zentaran Colony 7 played on endless loop in the emergency command center. Krasthul watched alongside his newly assigned security counterpart, senior enforcer Vexitar, as the impossible scene repeated again. "Play it again," Vexitar commanded, her crystalline exoskeleton glinting under the harsh lights. "Slow motion, enhanced Sector 4. The footage showed the colony's nursery wing at night cycle. 23 Zentaran younglings slept peacefully in their quantum-shielded pods. The timestamp hit 3:42 local time. Nothing. Then at 3:43 empty pods, no alarms, no forced entry, no quantum signatures, just gone. "Perhaps a malfunction in the recording device," Krasthul suggested, knowing it was futile. Zentaran security systems didn't malfunction. "Watch the corner," Vexitar said, her voice unnaturally tight. "There." In the enhanced footage, a shadow moved. not the smooth motion of advanced species, but a crude bipedal form. The figure wore what appeared to be primitive fabric-based camouflage. "That's not possible," Krasathul protested. "The security field would have—" "Detected any known stealth technology?" Vexitar finished. "It did, because they weren't using any technology we know. They walked right through our most advanced sensors using nothing but cloth and paint. Primitive, basic camouflage that we considered so obsolete our systems weren't even programmed to detect it." The implication sent waves of cold fear through Krasathul's body. His research station had recorded thousands of hours of humans engaging in what they called military exercises. They had dismissed it as primitive warfare games. Now those recordings took on a much darker meaning. "There's more," Vexitar said, switching to a new feed. This one showed the colony's external security zone. Frame by frame, more shadows moved. Not the chaos of primitives, but coordinated, deliberate movements. "We counted at least 30 human operators. They disabled our communication arrays simultaneously across 12 sectors. Not with cyber warfare or quantum disruption. They used projectile weapons, bullets, simple chunks of metal moving at high velocity." The command center's doors hissed open. A delegation of species representatives hurried in, the Archesian hive commander, their tentacles twisted in anxiety, the Proxima Core intelligence, its neural matrix flickering with distress patterns, even a member of the ancient quorum, their energy form pulsing erratically. "The humans have responded to our diplomatic request," the quorum member announced. "They deign to speak with us?" Krasathul asked hopefully. "No, they sent this." A hologram materialized in the center of the room. A simple text message, in primitive human English. "Return them." "Return what?" Krasathul asked, confusion evident in his color-shifting skin. "That's what we need you to find out," Vexitar said. "You're the human expert. Make sense of this." Another alert blared. The Proxima Core Intelligence's avatar flared bright red. 2 more colonies hit. 47 more children missing. Palaxian Creche 9 and Archesian Nurturing Pod 7. "Impossible!" the Archesian commander buzzed. "Those facilities were on opposite ends of the galaxy." "The humans don't have that kind of FTL capability," Krasathul insisted. "Their fastest ships barely break light speed." "Evidently," Vexitar said dryly, "there are a great many things about humans we were wrong about." The room fell silent as another human transmission arrived. This time, an audio file. A human voice, female, cold as space itself. "You took our children first. Every hour that passes, we take 2 more colonies. Return them all, or watch your species go extinct, one empty nursery at a time." Krasathul's research notes about human parental instincts flashed through his mind. He had documented their fierce attachment to their young, their irrational protective behaviors. He had classified it as an evolutionary weakness. He realized now it wasn't weakness at all. It was a warning sign they had all ignored. "Find out what happened to their children," the quorum member commanded. "Find them fast." As the gathered species descended into panicked discussion, Krasathul noticed something on the security footage he hadn't before. One of the human operators had looked directly at the camera before disappearing, and smiled. They wanted to be seen. This wasn't just a rescue mission. It was a message. You're not the advanced ones anymore. You're the prey. The emergency council chamber aboard Station Omega buzzed with the nervous energy of a dozen alien species. Krasathul found himself appointed head researcher of the hastily assembled Interstellar Task Force, mainly because no one else had spent as much time studying humans. The irony wasn't lost on him. "Report," Vexitar commanded, her crystalline form radiating authority. "I've been reviewing my research archives," Krasathul began, projecting a series of recordings. "What we dismissed as entertainment, their action movies, were actually training documentaries. These weren't fictional scenarios. They were operations manuals hiding in plain sight. The recording showed humans performing what they'd thought were implausibly athletic feats, scaling walls without tech assistance, swimming underwater for impossible lengths of time, surviving in extreme conditions with minimal equipment. They weren't exaggerating their capabilities, he continued. We were underestimating them. A new alert flashed. Incoming transmission, the station AI announced. Origin, Earth. The holographic display crackled to life, revealing a human female in what they now recognized as military attire. Commander Alexandra Reeves, according to the primitive name tag. My team tells me you've been going through your old homework, she said, her lips curved in what Krazathul now understood was not a friendly smile. Finding anything interesting? How did you penetrate our communication security? Vexitar demanded. The same way we got through your colony defenses. We didn't. You left the door wide open, assuming we were too primitive to walk through it. Reeves leaned forward. Now let's talk about something you did understand. Kidnapping. The Proxima Core intelligence pulsed forward. We have no record of any human abductions. Check your black site on Kepler 186F, Reeves said casually. The one that officially doesn't exist. 16 human children, taken from various colonies over the past Earth year. Your scientists wanted to study our accelerated neural development. The room erupted in chaos. The quorum member's energy form flickered violently. That facility was unauthorized. A rogue operation. Don't care, Reeves cut in. Here's what's going to happen. You have 12 Earth hours to return our children. In return, you get your children back. If you don't comply... She smiled again, and Krazathul felt his skin ripple with fear. Well, we've only hit nurseries so far. Be a shame if we had to expand our target list. The transmission cut. Vexitar turned to Krazathul. How? How are they operating across such vast distances? Krazathul was frantically reviewing his data. Those energy signatures in Colorado, they weren't Zentaran quantum drives. They were something else. Something we've never seen before. The humans didn't copy our technology. They developed something completely different. Impossible, the Archesian commander buzzed. Their development timeline was exactly what they wanted us to see, Krazathul finished. While we watched them play with rockets and satellites, they were perfecting their own form of FTL travel. One that all our sensors classified as background radiation because it didn't match any known patterns. A new message appeared on screen. Coordinates followed by 6 words. Come alone. No weapons. Time to talk. It's a trap, Vexitar declared. No, Krazathul said, his research instincts firing. It's a test. They're offering us a chance to prove we can follow simple instructions, just like they've been following our movements for years, learning our weaknesses while we studied them through a lens of superiority. He turned to the assembled council. We thought we were the advanced species, but think about it, what's more advanced? Developing increasingly complex technology that can be detected and countered? Or developing just enough technology to accomplish your goals while appearing harmless? You mean? They're not primitives who happen to develop surprising capabilities, Krazathul said. They're warriors who deliberately masked their true nature. And we... He gestured at the station's advanced systems, the quantum shields, the AI interfaces. We're the primitive ones who relied too heavily on technology we assumed made us superior. Outside the station's windows, a small ship winked into existence. No quantum wake, no radiation signature, just there, where it hadn't been before. They're not asking for permission to talk, Krazathul realized. They're giving us permission to surrender. The meeting location was a defunct mining facility on a barren moon. Krazathul and Vexitar waited in the airlock chamber, following the humans' instructions to the letter. The facility's ancient atmospheric processors wheezed to life, filling the chamber with breathable air. A door opened. Commander Reeves entered, accompanied by 2 human operators, a dark-skinned male introduced as Marcus Stone and a shorter female called Luna Rodriguez. No visible weapons, but Krazathul noted the fluid way they moved, like predators conserving energy. Shall we? Reeves gestured to a makeshift conference room. The room's central holotable flickered to life, displaying images that made Krasathol's skin turn ash-grey. Human children connected to neural interfaces in the secret Kepler facility. But these weren't the sterile research images he expected. They showed fear, pain, confusion. The Quorum had no knowledge, Vexitar began. Save it, Stone cut in. His voice was quiet, which somehow made it worse. We tracked the facility's quantum signature, found the research logs. Want to know what happens when you plug developing human brains into your neural networks? Rodriguez tapped the holotable. New images appeared, security feeds from across the galaxy, entire alien facilities going dark, silent, precise operations executed with terrifying efficiency. Those children you experimented on, Reeves continued, their neural patterns adapted, evolved. They became living bridges between human consciousness and your quantum networks, gave us access to everything, security systems, fleet movements, research data. All because you couldn't resist studying the primitives. Impossible, Vexitar whispered. The firewalls. Were designed to stop technological intrusion, Stone said. Not 16 children whose minds you accidentally upgraded. The same children who, despite everything you did to them, still remembered their parents. Still reached out. Still called for help. Krasathol's research notes flooded back. Countless observations of human parents defending their young. Stories they told of mothers lifting vehicles to save trapped children. Historical accounts of entire armies destroyed by parents avenging their offspring. The facility's own logs show what happened next, Rodriguez said, bringing up more footage. The children's neural patterns synchronized. They reached out through your quantum network, found Earth's classified military channels, sent a message home. The footage showed the aftermath. Special operations teams appearing from nowhere, advanced alien security systems blind to primitive thermal camouflage and analog equipment. Centuries of technological advancement rendered useless by humans using basic tools and unstoppable determination. We got the message 3 months ago, Reeves said. Took us 2 months to decode it, track the source and develop a response plan. You know what we did with the 3rd month? She nodded to Stone, who projected a new image, a galactic map showing hundreds of synchronized strikes, military bases, research stations, communication hubs, all mapped, all vulnerable. We practiced, Stone said simply. Every entry point, every security protocol, every possible variable. We could have hit you anywhere, any time. But we chose the nurseries first, because we wanted you to understand exactly what you'd done, how it felt. The children you took, Rodriguez added, her voice carrying that same deadly quiet. They're safe now, being treated for trauma. But they gave us something you never intended, a blueprint of your entire civilization's weaknesses. The price of underestimating humanity wasn't just losing your children. It was showing us exactly how to dismantle your society piece by piece. Vexitar's crystalline form vibrated with shock. You would wage war on that scale over 16 children. The 3 humans exchanged looks that made Krasathol's survival instincts scream. You still don't understand, Reeves said. We're not waging war, we're hunting. There's a difference. War is about territory, resources, ideology. Hunting is about tracking prey. And you made yourselves prey the moment you took our children. She stood, towering over the alien representatives. Here's what happens next. You'll return our children, all of them, unharmed. You'll provide complete medical data to help treat their trauma. You'll surrender everyone involved in the program for trial under human justice systems. And you'll establish new protocols for any future contact with human worlds. And if we refuse? Vexitar asked, though her tone suggested she already knew the answer. Stone smiled. It wasn't a pleasant expression. Then we start working through our target list. We've already proven we can take your children. Want to see what happens when we decide to take everything else? Krasathol spoke up, his scientific curiosity overriding his fear. You could have struck military targets first, crippled our defenses. Why take our children instead? Because, Rodriguez said, we wanted to teach you the same lesson you accidentally taught us. Never underestimate a species' connection to their young. You took 16 of ours. We took hundreds of yours. And we made sure every parent in your society felt the same fear, the same helplessness, the same rage that our parents felt. It wasn't just revenge, Reeves concluded. It was education. Now, should we discuss surrender terms? Or would you like to see what else we learned while you thought we were busy watching entertainment vids? Krazathul looked at his research notes one last time before closing them forever. In the end, all his sophisticated analysis had missed the most important fact about humanity. They weren't rising to meet the standards of advanced civilizations. They were waiting to see if advanced civilizations could meet their standards. They had failed that test spectacularly. The data streams from across the galaxy painted a terrifying picture. Krazathul watched from Station Omega's command center as another criminal syndicate went dark. No distress signals, no weapons fire, just silence. Status report, Vexitar commanded, her crystalline form dulled with stress. The human strike team hit 3 more black sites in the Orion sector, Krazathul responded, tracking the familiar energy signatures. They're not even trying to hide anymore. The Perseus Ring Syndicate, the Cetus smuggling network, the Taurus trafficking chain, all gone. Gone how? Just gone, like they never existed. The humans had discovered that the Kepler facility wasn't an isolated incident. A vast underground network had been profiting from the trafficking of various species, young, including humans. Commander Reeves's response had been succinct. Thanks for the target list. New alerts flashed across the screens. Rodriguez's voice came through the comm system, casual as if discussing the weather. Scratch another one off. The Pleiades exchange won't be exchanging anything else. The security feeds showed the aftermath. Entire criminal operations eliminated with surgical precision. No collateral damage, no civilian casualties, just very specific targets removed from existence with mechanical efficiency. They're hunting through hyperspace, Krazathul observed, his scientific mind still analyzing despite his fear. The quantum wake patterns, they're using the children's neural signatures to track the smuggling routes. Every criminal who ever transported a human child left a trace in the quantum fabric. And now they're following those traces home, Vexitar finished. Stone's voice crackled through. Got another one. Seems the Sirius Collective liked keeping trophies. Had neural recordings of every acquisition. Very helpful. Very stupid. The feeds showed more facilities going dark. The humans were methodically erasing every organization that had ever profited from or assisted in the trafficking of sentient young. Species across the galaxy were learning a harsh lesson about humanity's approach to justice. They're not just eliminating current threats, Krazathul realized, watching the pattern emerge. They're ensuring this can never happen again. Making an example. A new transmission cut through all channels, a simple message broadcasting on every frequency. The children remember everything, every face, every voice, every location. We're coming for all of them. The galactic criminal underworld, which had operated with impunity for centuries, was experiencing something new. Fear. Not of laws or enforcement or punishment, but of shadows in the dark. Of primitive projectile weapons that their shields couldn't stop. Of humans who walked through their most advanced security like ghosts. Another syndicate boss turned himself in, Vexitar reported. That's the 7th today. They're choosing official justice systems over facing the humans. Smart choice, Rodriguez's voice commented. We're running out of space in the brig anyway. Speaking of which, Commander Reeves says to check the coordinates we just sent. Might find some familiar faces from that Kepler facility. The coordinates led to an abandoned space station. Inside, tied up with primitive rope and zip ties, was the entire research team that had started this cascade of events. A note was attached. Your justice or ours, choose quickly. Krazathul watched as the station's long-range sensors detected more human strike teams moving through the galaxy. Their energy signatures were clear now that he knew what to look for. Small, efficient, deadly. like a virus moving through a body, systematically destroying targeted cells while leaving healthy tissue untouched. "How long will they continue?" Vexitar asked. A final transmission from Reeves answered that question. "Until every child is found, until every perpetrator is caught, until every parent in the galaxy understands that their children will never be taken again until the hunt is done." The humans had revealed themselves not as the primitives everyone had assumed, but as something far more dangerous, apex predators who had simply been waiting for a reason to bare their teeth. They had disguised their true nature not out of weakness, but because they understood something that more advanced species had forgotten. The most dangerous hunter isn't the one with the most sophisticated weapons. It's the one that its prey never sees coming. And now, across the galaxy, those who had preyed on the innocent were learning what it meant to become prey themselves. The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Commander Reeves strode in, flanked by Stone and Rodriguez. No weapons were visible, but after the events of the past months, everyone understood that humans were weapons. "The hunt is complete," Reeves announced. Her tone wasn't triumphant, just final. The holographic displays showed the numbers. 342 criminal organizations dismantled, 12,617 traffickers apprehended or eliminated, 2,943 children of various species rescued, including all 16 human children. "Your children have been returned to their respective worlds," Stone reported, his quiet voice carrying across the chamber. "Our medical teams have provided treatment protocols for their recovery. The neural damage is reversible. They'll heal." "And our criminals?" the quorum member asked cautiously. "Enjoying human hospitality," Rodriguez answered with that now familiar, dangerous smile. "They're learning a lot about our justice system. Turns out primitive steel bars work just as well as quantum containment fields." Krazathul stepped forward, his role as chief xenologist now focused on preventing future catastrophes. "The new protocols are ready for review, primary among them. All species recognize human worlds as Category 1 restricted zones. No unauthorized contact, no surveillance, no research." "Agreed," Reeves nodded. "In return, humanity will share certain technological advances, medical knowledge, clean energy, spacefold theory, but our military capabilities remain classified." "And if another group attempts to harm your young?" Vexitar asked. The temperature in the room seemed to drop as all three humans smiled. Not the friendly expressions aliens had misinterpreted for so long, but the baring of teeth that every predator species recognized. "They won't," Stone said simply, "because everyone's going to remember what happened this time, how efficiently humanity can hunt, how thoroughly we can eliminate threats, how completely we can dismantle entire criminal empires when properly motivated." Rodriguez brought up one final display, the countless facilities, bases and hideouts that had gone dark during their campaign. "Consider this a template, a demonstration of what happens when someone ignores our warnings." "We're not interested in galactic politics," Reeves concluded. "We don't want your territory or your resources. We don't care about your power struggles or your ancient feuds. But understand this. The children of every species are now under humanity's protection. Not because we're noble, not because we're advanced, but because we know what it means to be underestimated, and we're very, very good at proving people wrong." The new protocols were signed within the hour. As the various species representatives filed out, Krazathul noticed how they gave the humans a wide berth. Not out of disgust or superiority as they once might have, but out of a new understanding. The galaxy had learned that technological advancement wasn't the only measure of a species' capability. "I've updated my research classifications," Krazathul told Reeves as the chamber emptied. "Humanity is now listed as Category 0. Meaning? Beyond classification. A reminder that some species defy our understanding of advancement. That sometimes the most dangerous beings in the universe aren't the ones with the most impressive technology, but the ones with the strongest convictions." Reeves nodded, then paused at the door. "You know why we let you keep watching us all those years? Why we played up the primitive angle?" Krasthul's skin rippled with curiosity. Because we wanted to see who would try to take advantage of a seemingly weaker species, who would respect boundaries, and who would cross lines. You gave us exactly what we needed, a clear map of who could be trusted and who needed to be taught a lesson. She turned to leave, then added, "Keep studying us if you want. Just remember, we're studying you too, and we're much better at learning from our observations than anyone suspected." As the humans departed, Krasthul made his final research note. Humanity's greatest deception wasn't hiding their advancement. It was making us believe that advancement only moved in one direction, toward bigger, more complex, more detectable technology. They advanced sideways instead, developing just enough to accomplish their goals while maintaining the ability to move unseen through the shadows of our sophisticated systems. In doing so, they became something unique in the galaxy, a species that doesn't need to prove its superiority, because true predators don't warn their prey, they just hunt. The galaxy had learned its lesson. The children were safe, and humanity's warning was clear. We're not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with us.